Boys, today, nah, just kidding. Today, let's discuss or talk about an overview of Pokemon breeding in Scarlet and Violet. Recently, there's a surge of new players playing the game, and I wouldn't be shocked if they don't know a thing or two about breeding. So, breeding is where you go to a picnic with at least two or more Pokemon with opposite genders, and you can only breed certain Pokemons to match with their respective egg groups. I won't explain it in further detail since it's confusing and even I don't understand it. We're here to understand or at least start breeding some Pokemon, right? By the way, before we go further, the reason that some trainers prefer breeding is to get or breed a shiny Pokemon that is not typically found in the wild, like Charizard, Cinderace, Decidueye, or other event Pokemon that is not available in the game anymore. And also, there are rare Pokemon in the wild like Eevee or Spiritomb, which you don't see that often. So that's why they prefer breeding over hunting them. Now, the easiest way to breed without worrying about the gender and egg groups is to have one parent be a Ditto, and the other is the target Pokemon. Ditto won't discriminate gender and egg group, and you'd still be able to produce an egg of your target Pokemon. So, now that's done, should we start breeding? I mean, you could, but there are requirements or techniques rather, so that it would be easier for you to target a specific IV and even increase your shiny odds. Sorry. Now, I will not discuss the intricacies of IVs, especially EVs, on this video. So, how do we target this particular stat? So as you can see on the screen right now, there's a Rowlet with like a stat table. If you can see, there are 6 stats in every Pokemon, like HP, attack, defense, speed, SP def, and SP attack. And with those stats, as you can see, there are words or labels beneath them. Best, pretty good, best, right? So those stats or those words correspond to the level of IV for that Pokemon. So best is the highest that you can get, and no good, I think, is the lowest that you can get. So when you see the term 6 IV or 5 IV within the community, it just means that 6 of those IVs are max, which has the best label, like this one. It has 6 best, so it just means 6 of those IVs are max, and 5 IVs would mean 5 of them are best, and this one only has 1 best, so it's 1 IV, and so on. So how do we get this 6 IV? Actually, it's pretty easy, but the chance that getting a 6 IV is kind of rare. So for us to like expedite, or for us to get a higher chance of getting like a higher stat or a higher IV, is to have one Pokemon hold a Destiny Knot, like this one. How can I change? Yeah, Destiny Knot. It's like the red ball of yarn. You have to have one Pokemon hold this item. So, Destiny Knot, when held by a Pokemon during breeding, will transfer 5 random IVs of that Pokemon. So, for example, this Ditto has... Sorry. Okay, so 6 IVs. So, 5 of these IVs will be picked randomly and will be passed to that Pokemon's offspring. Now, yeah, so you cannot pinpoint the stat that it will be passed down because it's random, but at least you have a higher chance of just you have a lock chance rather that 5 of those stats will be best, and you will just gamble the odds for that one stat to be best. So that's why when you breed Pokemon, most of them have 5 IVs when you use a Destiny Knot or when you use this method. But there's still a chance that the offspring will be 6 IV. Don't get me wrong. And the next item will be the Everstone. So I think you're familiar with this because in the anime, when a Pokemon is holding the Everstone, it cannot evolve, right? So it's the same as a game, but the additional like effect of Everstone is when held by a Pokemon during breeding, it passes down the Pokeball and the nature of the parent Pokemon. So for example, this Oshawott is holding an Everstone, and as you can see on the upper corner of the screen, you can see the name or the Pokemon's name, Oshawott, and the left side of that is the Pokeball that Pokemon is like catch or housing in, right? So that's a Beast Ball. So when we breed like the Oshawott and the Ditto, it will produce Oshawott eggs, and those eggs will have Beast Balls on them. And also it will be 100% adamant in nature because the parent that's holding the Everstone is adamant. So that's the purpose of holding the Everstone, and it is actually recommended as well that the Pokemon that's holding the Everstone will have best IVs, though it will not pass down the IVs. Only the Destiny Knot will pass down the IVs. It's just recommended. I'm not quite sure if it's 100% or it's a surefire way of widening our chance of getting a 6 IV Pokemon, but that's what I'm doing. And yeah, so after this one, how do we increase our shiny odds, right? So we have discussed the IV, the nature, the Pokeball, how to pass down to eggs, how to increase our shiny odds. So to increase our shiny odds is we just need one little adjustment with the ones that we have discussed. So we have to have a foreign Ditto. I think you have heard or read this term being used in the community, foreign Ditto. So basically, there is a shiny hunting method which is called the Masuda method, where one Pokemon is foreign and the other is local to your region. I believe this is the region where you play your game. So for example, if I'm in Japan, most of my local Pokemon will have the JPN region tag, which is like this one. If you can see in the upper right corner, there is a JPN. So it means that this Pokemon is caught by a Japanese trainer that's currently residing in Japan. So basically, this one that has the JPN tagging won't be a foreign Pokemon to Japanese players. These are their localized Pokemon, so they need like a Pokemon from SPEU or Spain, Europe, or the one with ENG or English. So that should be it. And it doesn't need to be a Ditto. You can actually use like a local Ditto and a foreign target monster. However, that would be like tedious for the breeder because you have to look for foreign target monsters rather than just look for one Pokemon, which is the Ditto, to be foreign and the target Pokemon to be localized. So this increases the shiny chance or the shiny odds of you getting a shiny offspring. So once that's done, we can start breeding, right? So breeding is just simple in this game. You just have to have the two Pokemon. For example, you just have to have two Pokemon, which is the Ditto and the target monster, be in your party, and remove the other Pokemon that's in your party. Just have to have two. And then after that, launch a picnic. I'm surrounded by Pokemon, so I'll move here. Okay, launch a picnic. Once you have launched a picnic, you just have to eat a great peanut butter sandwich which has the egg level 2 power. This one, egg power level 2, sorry. So once you've eaten the sandwich, it will give you a buff of egg power for 30 minutes. And what this does is that it expedites the egg production of these two Pokemon. So I believe it produces 10 eggs every 3 to 5 minutes. So I'm not quite sure, but I actually take out the eggs every 3 minutes, and that's where I get like at least one box full of eggs, and the next box will be like half filled, right? So that's what you do. And once you have those eggs, I'll show you in a bit. So once you have those eggs, what you need to do is put the eggs in your party. Just run around. Like, you can actually go by foot, but that will just delay the hatching of the eggs. You can actually use your ride or your bicycle and just run around, because it actually records more steps when you are riding on a bike. And one thing is that for you to hatch it more faster than this method is to have one Pokemon have the ability Flame Body, or you can actually this one. Let's put it here. This one Pokemon to have Flame Body. Hold on. Flame Body or Magma Armor. So for example, on my screen you have Volcarona right here, which has Flame Body. Other Pokemon is like Talonflame, I believe, and I think Rolycoly or Torkoal has Magma Armor, so I'm not quite sure. But Volcarona has Flame Body, so this expedites the hatching process for these eggs. And once you are set up, you can just run around or explore the map. Hope that you encounter a shiny. I just go here and circle around the map and hatch the eggs. Rinse and repeat, and that's how you hunt a shiny version of uncatchable Pokemon in the wild. Again, I hope that this helps any of you guys. If you have questions, feel free to drop them on the comment section below. That would be all for today. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye.